back, and if you're new, I'm Lauren.
And I'm Amanda.
And today we're doing our March wrap-up. These are all the books we read this month. I feel like you had a very good reading month. I did not. I don't really know what caused it. Just have had the worst reading month. I've been in a huge reading slump. I haven't been wanting to read, which is awful. I'm hoping next month is 10 times better.
The first book we're going to talk about is Flock by Kate Stewart. This was one that we both read this month. We actually do have a buddy reading vlog over on our channel where we have all of our thoughts and reactions while reading this book. We do want to do a buddy reading vlog every month, so we are trying to figure out what book we want to read for April. So if you guys have any recommendations for us, please leave them down below in the comments. So we did go into this book completely blind. We had no idea what it was about. So right off the bat, we were just throwing like crazy.
Crazy.
Oh good, she knows the word.
No,
Theories. Yeah. We were throwing out crazy theories.
We were wrong about 99% of the book.
So wrong.
But it was so good.
It was really good. Right from the beginning. The very first page, the prologue.
It had the best prologue I've ever read.
It was really good prologue.
It like hooks you from the start.
Yeah.
It kept you reading.
We kept feeling like, dang, we're already that far into it. And I really loved the whole idea of the book, the whole plot, the specific trope that this book had.
So if you didn't already know, this book is about a girl named Cecilia. She's 19 years old and she moves to a small town called Triple Falls. She goes there to spend a year working for her father's factory. They do not have a good relationship. She's working there with the hopes to secure her family inheritance so that she could take care of her mom before going off to college. So the first day on the job, she meets a guy named Sean, who's this beautiful man. He invites her to a party at his house where she's introduced to his lawless brotherhood, and that's where things just get interesting. I could see why Goodreads reviews are kind of confused because I felt like the book was kind of all over the place.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out if he's the bird or not.
No! There's a mystery throughout the whole book. We don't really get answers until the very end, and even when we do, it only explains like half of the mystery. I feel like that's because it was the first book in the series, introducing us to the characters and stuff. So I feel like the rest of the series is gonna answer a lot of questions, and I think it's just gonna get better and better. I feel like this was a really strong first buddy read. So I'm excited to see what we're gonna read next month.
The first one I'm gonna talk about is The House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune. So good. I can't believe it took me this long.
Me either.
I'm like, what was I waiting for? But honestly, this book came out the perfect time because I wanted to go into March with like a happy book, you know, good vibes, heartwarming story, and this was it. If you don't know what this is about a really secluded caseworker, and he gets a highly classified case to go to the House in the Cerulean Sea, check in on these orphans and make sure that they're okay, since they do have a really strong powers. They can be seen as dangerous. Obviously, the kids will see him as a threat. I really enjoyed that we got to know each and every kid and see how unique they were and each of their powers. I really did love each of the kids.
They like were really easy to get attached to.
The story was just very wholesome. I was laughing, I was crying, I was smiling throughout this whole book. I definitely think it's gonna be one of my favorites of the year. So if you have not read it yet, I highly recommend.
So this month I finally started the An Ember in the Ashes series by Sabaa Tahir, and I'm so glad I did. If you watched our cozy reading day vlog, you saw me read this book, and if you watched it, you're gonna hear me repeat myself, but I really did enjoy this one. So this is a YA fantasy, and we follow a girl named Delia. Her brother gets arrested for treason by marshals who are part of the Marshall Empire. The Empire pretty much rules this world, so those who don't vow their bodies in blood risk execution of their loved ones and pretty much the destruction of everything they love. After Lia's brother is arrested, she seeks out the resistance and rebels agree to help her. She will risk her life and spy for the Marshall Empire inside one of their biggest military academies. I really did enjoy this book, so much so that right after I finished this one, I read the sequel, A Torch Against the Night. I really liked this one too. I don't think as much as the first one, but I did think it was a great addition to the story. I do appreciate that this one picked up right where the last one left off, and the whole book was pretty fast-paced. I did predict a few of the bigger plot twists in this book, but overall I still really enjoyed it. I liked that we got a lot more answers. But this book did end right when stuff was starting to pick up, so I'm hoping in the third book we get the bulk of the action and things start happening.
How many are there?
There are 4. Yeah, I'm hoping to read the next 2 next month, but Overall, I really did like these two. I'm so glad I finally read it. Thank you to everyone who's been recommending it to me because I really am enjoying it.
In that same cozy reading vlog, I read The Paris Apartment by Lucy Foley. I had really high hopes for this one since I did love The Guest List by Lucy Foley, and this one did not disappoint. This is about a girl who goes to visit her brother in Paris, and she's planning on staying in his apartment, but then when she gets there, she realizes that he is missing. So she's just trying to figure out what happened to him. We get to meet his neighbors, and we realize they all have their own secrets, and they might just all be hiding something. This book had a lot of different twists and turns that I did not see coming. I thought the ending was crazy, and I did not expect it at all. I did listen to the audiobook while reading this one, and I absolutely loved it. There was 6 different POVs, so they had 6 different narrators, and I thought each one of them did a really good job. It's probably one of my favorite audiobooks that I have listened to this far. I think this really just got me more excited to read some more mystery thrillers. This was one of my most anticipated reads for this year, so I knew I had to read it right away, and I absolutely loved it.
I did pick up where I left off in the Addicted/Calloway Sisters series. Last month I read Kiss the Sky, so the next one was Hot House Flower, and I really liked this one. This series, if you didn't know, follows 6 best friends, 3 different couples. They all have different romance tropes. There's 5 books in the Addicted series and 5 in the Calloway Sisters, but the reading order is all intertwined. This book follows Daisy and her relationship, and from the beginning I knew that I was going to love her, love her point of view and her relationship, and I do. I think they're my favorite couple. If you watched our wrap up from last month, you saw that I didn't really love Kiss the Sky. It made me a little weary of the series, but this one redeemed it for me. I really love the writing because you can see the differences between like Lily's point of view and Rose and Daisy. They're all so different, and the fact that it's reflected in the writing I feel like so cool. This was definitely my favorite one so far. She's definitely my favorite Calloway sister. If you have read this series, let us know which one of the girls is your favorite.
I feel like early on I knew she was gonna be my favorite.
Yeah.
And so was her man.
So good. At first I didn't know how I felt about the couple because it's a little bit of an age gap, but the way they did it is it's so good.
I did read the Briar U series. So if you didn't already know, Elle Kennedy does have her off-campus series and her Briar U series. The off-campus series is basically just 4 hockey player best friends who are also roommates, and we follow their unique relationships. So this was the spin-off Briar U, kind of the same vibe, but we're still following the school and we're still following the hockey team. The chase and the dare honestly were not my favorite. The dare really was not my favorite at all. I feel like sometimes authors make stories that are unrealistic, and I really feel like the dare was so unrealistic, just in the sense that it was like rushed. I didn't really love these two, but I did love these two, especially the play. Hunter is probably one of my favorites from the entire off-campus and Briar U world. This was realistic. Now this was a story I could get behind.
I'm excited for those.
Yeah, these are great. These, not so much. These are really short, easy reads. Now I'm done with them. I only have The Legacy left, which
is crazy.
I could start crying right now just because I feel like they're all my friends. And we're gonna have to say goodbye now, which is so sad. It's like the first big series I've read that I've completed.
I'm just interested to see like how it's gonna tie everything up. Like seeing all the characters come back together.
Yeah.
That's gonna be so good. Right after Hot House Flower, this was the next one in the reading order, okay? This is back to the Addicted series. I was so excited to read it because I was ready to know what was going to happen. However, I think my issue was that I wasn't aware that this book is basically the exact same story as the previous 2 books, just in a different perspective. And I wasn't ready for that, so it was very unexpected. I think having to sit down and reread the same story that I had just read, even though it was in a different perspective, it was so repetitive that it definitely put me into my reading slump. I saw a girl on Goodreads say, if you love the characters, you're gonna read the book no matter what, right? And like Lily was her favorite, so she was excited to read her point of view during when all of this happened, which I understand. I think since Lily and Lo aren't my favorite, it was kind of just like a drag. It took me so long to read this one. I almost DNF'd it a couple times, but I just wanted to complete the series, so I pushed through. I am glad I did, but I'm ready to like know what's gonna happen next.
Wait, can we talk about these new covers?
Oh my god! This is the Addicted series, okay? The all-white object cover.
Very beautiful.
So cute. That's the Addicted series, 5 books. Here is a Calloway Sister series, right? Still cute, but they do have like people on the cover. I didn't love it because since the reading order is intertwined, when you put both of them together, they don't match, right?
Well, these all look like standalones.
Yeah,
there's no theme.
There's no coordinates.
Like, this looks like a mafia romance.
Coordinates? There's just no consistency. I do like these covers.
I feel like I got used to them.
There was a bunch of people asking, are you gonna make covers for the Calloway Sister series that matches the Addicted series? And they had said no. We're not planning on doing that. Not anytime soon. We ended up buying these, right? And they just released the new covers for the Calloway Sister series. They're all white, beautiful, and they match the Addicted series. The good part is we have like the original covers, and they said that they're not making these anymore. Like, the white ones are completely replacing them. But the fact that they're not matching drives me insane.
Maybe you should get the new ones then. Next, I read We Are the Brennans. This one I did just get in our most recent book outlet haul. Honestly, I just kind of picked this one up because I was seeing it all around and it had clovers on it. I wasn't expecting to like love it, but I did. I gave it a 4.5 stars. This was like my first family drama book. Every chapter something was going down. It's about a girl who ran away from home a few years ago, but she ended up getting in a really bad car accident that kind of forced her to go back home and face the problems that she ran away from. We got to know each of the family members and see their own unique point of views. I had no idea where the story was gonna go. The only reason it didn't get 5 stars was because I was expecting an epilogue. Like, the whole time I'm like, this is what's gonna happen in the epilogue. And then it was just over. There was family drama, there was romance, and there was even some mystery too. So, very good read. You know why I think I liked it a lot though? I've been binge watching Yellowstone, so I was imagining the Brennans as the Duttons, so it was just like playing perfectly in my head. I guess that won't make sense if no one watches
no idea what that means. So the next book I read was The Perks of Being a Wallflower, and I hate to say it, but I was so disappointed in this book, and that really breaks my heart because the movie for a really long time was so special to me. I loved the movie. I thought it was so well done, and I originally picked up this book because I was in such a reading slump, and I was just thinking, this is a story I already know I love, so the books are always better than the movies, so I was so excited to get into it. It's not what I was expecting. It made my reading slump probably 10 times worse, which is awful. I initially thought the writing was really interesting because the whole book is basically Charlie's letters to this unknown friend, so you're just reading all of these letters the whole book, and I thought that was really interesting and unique. Like, it was a different way to tell a story, but with that writing, it's almost like you're being told a story instead of experiencing it. Because of that, it's really hard to get an immersive experience with the story, and I think I had a really big disconnect because of that. The writing itself also started to bother me because I felt like it was a little immature, and I'm sure that was done intentionally because it was supposed to be like this high schooler's writing and letters, but it just definitely felt like that at times, and I didn't love that. I did like learning a little bit more about Charlie and understanding the way his mind worked and things like that during different scenes, but I really just think this is one of those rare cases where I personally liked the movie better than the book. It just wasn't for me. It was really hard for me to get through. If I would have read this middle school, even high school, I think I would have had that nostalgic feeling and been really attached. I just could not get into it.
So I finally got around to reading Monday's Not Coming by Tiffany D. Jackson. This was a book recommendation from one of our lovely subscribers, Kimberly. I really did enjoy this book. It is such a heartbreaking story. It's about a girl and her best friend has gone missing, and she's kind of just telling everyone around her, Monday's gone, I don't know where Monday is, and it just seems like no one really cares. She's just trying to figure out what happened, like where did her best friend go? She's trying to look for her at school, and she's not even at school. I was immediately hooked with this book. I really wanted to know, like, where did her friend go? Why does no one seem to care? I really did enjoy Tiffany D. Jackson's writing. I also felt like she shared a lot of really important messages that a lot of authors kind of steer away from. I did shed some tears when everything began to unfold. Overall, I thought it was a really good story.
My last book is actually a book I'm currently reading, but I am hoping to finish it before March ends, and that is Aristotle and Dante Dive into the Waters of the World. This book was actually a required reading for one of my classes, and initially I was so excited when I saw it on the list because I thought this was the book that I had seen everywhere and heard great things about. And then I quickly realized after that that was actually Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe. The book before this one, this was a sequel to that.
Oh, so yeah. They just like gave you the second one to read?
So I wish I would have realized that sooner. I would have read the first one before reading this one. I think that really messed it up a little bit for me because I didn't get to know the characters beforehand. I was just really thrown into this. I think that's why there's a little bit of a disconnect there, but I do really like the writing so far. I like the characters. Something I do really enjoy is the chapters are so short, and that always keeps me reading. I'm talking like 2-3 pages.
Nice.
But overall, it is a YA queer coming of age story about two boys just trying to navigate their relationship in a society where not everyone is welcoming. Very much so about how it is now. Overall, I am really liking it. I do wish I would have read the first one prior, but that's okay. We'll see if I finish it.
Next, I read A Court of Frost and Starlight by Sarah J. Maas. I just felt like this one was pointless, honestly. If I'm being honest, yes. It felt like a tease. I mean, it was a nice, cute, short read. I did like that we get to see how everyone's doing after the war. I just wanted a big book of how everyone was doing.
It was just a novella to connect the trilogy.
So for what it was, I mean, yeah, it was good. Overall, it was a really quick and easy read. I just wish it was a little bit longer.
So that's gonna be it for today's wrap up. These were all of the books we read in March. Some really great ones, some not so great ones. Let us know what your favorite book was this month.
As always, we do post new videos every Wednesday and Friday, so if you haven't already, please make sure to like and subscribe, and we will see you guys next time.